Okay, so we're working on calculus 1 limits. Let's get started. Okay, so we have the limit as x approaches 4 of x cubed minus 9x squared plus 20x over x minus 4. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do with these problems is try to insert the limiting value. Basically, the limiting value is that thing under the LIM, that 4, that's the limiting value. You're going to basically just put it in place of all the x's that you see. Okay, so what does that look like? Well, that would be 4 cubed minus 9 times 4 squared plus 20 times 4 over 4 minus 4. Now, if you throw this whole thing in your calculator or do it by hand, you're going to get 0 over 0, which is the indeterminate form. That's not going to fly in this class. Okay, so now typically after you do that, what you're going to want to do is try to use algebra manipulation to kind of play with these problems. What does it look like in this problem? Well, you're going to do that to the numerator. Notice that they all have an x. We can factor out that x, aka factor out the greatest common factor. So that's what I'm going to do to the numerator. I'm going to pull an x out of all three of those terms. So let's rewrite this thing doing that. We got the limit as x approaches 4 of x times x squared minus 9x plus 20 over x minus 4. But that x squared minus 9x plus 20, I can factor that. That's a quadratic. Great. Now, what does that look like? That's x times x minus 5 times x minus 4 over x minus 4. Now, you're going to use your algebra knowledge and tell me what happens with those things in purple. Yeah, exactly. They're going to go. Well, great. Now you just write down whatever you have left over. We have the limit as x approaches 4 of x times x minus 5, okay? Now, you're going to try to reinsert that limiting value. Just because it didn't work the first time doesn't mean you give up on it. You just want to make sure that after you do it this time, it doesn't give you no crazy stuff like 0 over 0. In this case, it's not. So that looks like 4 times 4 minus 5. So let's go ahead and do the 4 minus 5. That's going to give me a -1. And -1 times 4 is a -4. So let's go ahead and answer this question. The limit as x approaches 4 of x cubed minus 9x squared plus 20x over x minus 4 is -4. Thank you so much for watching. Any questions, comments, and concerns, make sure you leave them down below. See you next time.